Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I am your host, Harrison Graham, ready and eager to answer all of your questions, which this was aired on our live show on Monday. So turn on those notifications after you subscribe. That way you know when we go live here on the Chiefs Report. Get to our first question here from Slamento Tings. Do you think Justyn Ross will have a breakout season? Well, we kind of have a rule here at Chat Sports, and I kind of agree with it. Rookies can't really break out because they haven't played in the NFL yet. So I think the better question would be, could Justyn Ross have a surprise season? Could Justyn Ross make this team and have an impact? Those type of things. Breakout would be someone who's played for 1 or 2 years, has been okay, but hasn't had that big leap yet. Like an example for the Chiefs would be like Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like if he had 1,200 yards this year, that would be a breakout season, as he's been up and down and injury-prone through 2 seasons. Do I think he could have an impact? Yeah, I think it's possible. Do I think he could make this team? Yeah, I think it's a possibility, but we'll have to wait and see. Mahomes 86, give us your way too early wide receiver depth chart, assuming we keep 5 like last season. Well, let's take a look at what they currently have, and I will take a stab at who makes the roster. Let's say 6 make the roster. They'll keep 5 or 6, I think. I think the top 4 are locks: Juju, Hardman, Sky Moore, and Valdes-Scantling. If they keep 6, Josh Gordon, I will say, makes it. And then I'll go Justyn Ross. I think he'll be that 6th guy. I think he'll sneak in there as well. Heifer Raycon, think signing Clowney is a backup plan if Ingram goes anywhere else. I don't think Clowney should be a backup plan to Ingram. He's going to cost more money, but if they want Ingram and he goes elsewhere and they're willing to pay a little more for Clowney, could that be a possibility? Yeah, it could be. Would I anticipate it? Not particularly. I think if they get Ingram back, they're probably going to be mostly set at edge. I'd be good with another dude back there, but we'll see what happens. They may want to see if Joshua Kando can produce this year in year 2, but we'll see at this point in time. Sane Chiefs fan asks this. Giants cut James Bradberry. Could the Chiefs sign him? I definitely think it's a possibility. They were linked to Bradberry earlier this season. You look at his past 2 years with the New York Giants, pretty good. These are kind of the coverage stats here. Similar completion percentage. Now, he gave up more touchdowns last year, but he also had 1 more interception with 17 pass breakups. The yards is kind of the big difference, right? Almost 300 more yards. 848 is quite a bit, but if you're taking the ball away, which he does with 4 interceptions and knocking down 17 passes, you're willing to gamble there and give up some big plays. It's kind of a less extreme Trayvon Diggs, right? Trayvon Diggs for the Cowboys gave up well over 1,000 yards, but he had like 8 or 9, 10 picks. I can't remember the number. He had a ton of them. So you kind of live with that if he can create takeaways, which is something Bradberry does. Should the Chiefs sign James Bradberry? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'd be open to it. I think that I would definitely be open to adding him to this secondary. Quinn Inzer, can you see Josh Gordon seeing a lot more playing time this year? I mean, it's going to have to be earned. It's a crowded wide receiver room, but there's also not a true number 1. So I think you could see a heavier rotation. I think you could see guys get more opportunities. Now it's up to guys like Gordon to prove it. Is Cornell Powell going to make these teams? There's going to be a lot of competition at receiver in training camp. PS4, the new frontier, do we have a receiver to play in the X and Y? Seems like we have a ton of receivers that are best at slot. The whole XY thing, I don't want to say it's non-existent, but it's kind of like basketball at this point. It's pretty positionless. Juju Smith-Schuster can play slot or outside. He can play X or Y or Z, quite frankly. McCole Hardman can play inside out. I think Sky Moore can play slot or outside. So they may not have that true X, 6'4", 210, but they really haven't had that anyway. Like, who was their X last year? DeMarcus Robinson, he didn't play that much. So, I don't think X and Y really matters in the Chiefs offense. But if Josh Gordon were to play well, he could get some of those snaps as a big physical outside weapon. Maybe Justyn Ross could be that. We'll have to wait and see. Will the Chiefs re-sign McCole Hardman? So entering the last year of his rookie deal, I don't expect an extension to get done before this season. I think they're going to let this year play out and then see. But depending on how he plays, I could see them bringing him back. They don't have to, though, and they may not. I'd say it's 50-50. Big year for him to earn some money, whether it's from the Chiefs or for someone else. Reggie Boone, will UDFA safety Reggie Stubblefield from K-State make the roster? I don't know. You think about the defensive back room. You've got, your safeties there with Juan Thornhill and Justin Reed. I couldn't think of his name. Thank you, producer Trace. Obviously, you're pretty crowded at corner now. You got Deion Bush as a rotation safety now. I don't know. It's hard to project UDFAs. 1 to 2 typically make a roster. Chiefs roster was already deep, so it's going to be a tough uphill battle. More questions to come, but make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. More Chiefs news, rumors, and more. Once you do that, turn on notifications as well. That way you know when we go live and when we publish more videos. Hit that sub button, turn on that noti bell here on the Chiefs Report. It's 100% free daily coverage on your Kansas City Chiefs. All right, game person, have you seen the video of Justyn Ross? That is a loose question. I saw some clips from training camp, yes. I don't know which one you're talking about. Look, he looks good. They say he's healthy. He says he's feeling good. That's a good sign. It's up to him to prove it now to see if he can make the football team. RT Shorts, let's hear your stat predictions for Sky Moore. Oh, boy. Let's go like 62 catches for 795 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's just off the rip there. I think that'd be a great rookie season. Anthony Salamone, is it just lack of talent or scheme why our secondary has been rough to watch the last couple of years? Last year, I don't think Spags did his best job. I'll also add it wasn't Tyrann Mathieu' best year. They kept playing Dan Sorensen over Juan Thornhill earlier in the year, so that didn't help. L'Jarius Sneed was good, but not as good as his rookie year. Travaris Ward played pretty well. But certain guys had down years. I don't think Spags did a great job. The year before, the secondary was actually pretty solid. So I don't know about the last couple years. But last year, the points I made, I think, if Sneed plays like he did down the stretch where he played a lot better, if Rashad Fenton continues to grow like he did last season, that's going to be a good thing. And obviously, you need Justin Reed to perform at a high level. Blake Morthland. Should the Chiefs sign Will Fuller, he can take Tyreek's deep threat spot, and he won't cost much. Yeah, sure, if you want to sign him and have him run 10 go routes a game, I won't say no, but he'd be a rotation guy at best for this wide receiver unit. Who's going to win the AFC West this year? Type KC for the Chiefs, type LV for the Raiders, type LAC for the Chargers, or type DEN for the Broncos. Still think it's the Chiefs' division to lose. Great draft by Brett Veach. That really helped. But this is going to be the toughest division in football. Let us know down in the comments. Latin Assassin, we got a couple more here. What do you think of Akeem Hicks coming in as a rotation for defensive lineman for pass situations? I like Akeem Hicks. I think is like a number 3 defensive tackle that could also play some edge. Let's ride. When healthy, he's still good. Now, he's had some injuries in recent years. He will miss games most likely, but this is a good player. Really good player for the Bears for a long time. I think he could be a really good rotation pass rusher for this defense. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter. It's at HGramNFL, at HGramNFL. If we didn't get to your questions, I apologize. You can ask me over there, and I will respond to them just as soon as I can. It's at HGramNFL on Twitter.